During the Arab Spring of 2011, after decades of corruption and dictatorship, the Syrian people joined their Arab brethren in demanding democracy. They peacefully poured into the streets from their cities and villages. But Syrian dictator Bashar Assad and his security services answered those protests with deadly bullets. After almost a year of these peaceful demonstrations and thousands of lives lost, the people of Syria were forced to defend themselves and took up arms against dictator Assad. Assad answered by releasing known terrorists from jail and by using his intelligence agencies to support terror groups, to paint the popular protests as terrorists. In 2012, and in order to stop the wholesale slaughter of innocent Syrian civilians, members of Assad's military defected to form the Free Syrian Army. So Assad upped the ante, used military tanks and jets to murder his own citizens, and desperately asked Hezbollah to fight alongside with him. But it wasn't enough to stop the people's revolution. Next, Assad asked Iran to join the fight, but even that wasn't enough. ISIS soon infiltrated Syria with Assad's approval, as this would help his fight against terror narrative. Finally, in 2015, Assad, Hezbollah, ISIS, and Iranian militia were on the verge of defeat. So Assad brought in the Russians and all their military. This trio of terrorists, Assad, Iran, and Russia, used the most sophisticated and advanced weapons to murder the Syrian people. Those civilians that were not killed were transported to the city of Idlib in green buses, marked buses full of innocents who opposed the regime. In less than a year, the Idlib population grew from 1 million to about 4 million. Now, Putin, Assad, and the Iranians want to attack Idlib. The people of Idlib are trapped. There is nowhere for them to go. If Idlib falls to the trio of terrorists, 4 million people will be either killed, injured, or displaced, and the hope of democracy will die along with them. That outcome would be tragic for millions of Syrians, and like the first refugee crisis of 2015, its effects will be felt around the world. The humanitarian, political, and security crises in Syria has escalated beyond Syrian borders and are seriously impacting our own national interest and allies in the Middle East. ISIS is now regaining foothold in Syria, and Russia is gaining influence in the region. The US must ensure they do not prevail. Please help advance the cause of freedom and democracy by ensuring the people of Idlib and Syria are protected.